Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a makeup video. I recently had, well yesterday, I had a makeup lesson with Makeup Forever. So they do makeup lessons which you pay for, but the cost of the lesson is taken off whatever you buy. So if you've got something in mind that you want to buy, it's basically free. And I knew that I wanted a new foundation, so that I knew I was going to spend the money. So I've been looking into different makeup for my upcoming wedding. I just really wanted to learn how to perfect my skin, try some of their products and get their opinions on sort of looks that I might want to play with. I haven't decided if I'm doing my own makeup yet or getting a makeup artist. I'm not entirely sure. But I wanted a makeup lesson anyway. My makeup I tend to do quite natural. It tends to be a lot about eyelashes for me. So I thought I could pick up a few techniques. But you can book these lessons and ask them whatever you want to learn. They will help you with it. So I had TIANNA based in Leicester. She was absolutely brilliant. She's the same skin tone as me. It's one reason why I wanted to book in with her, so I could find colours that suit our skin tones. And yeah, let's just crack on. I've already filled in my eyebrows because I didn't have a lesson on that because I know how to fill them in. They just used one of their pencils, which was actually really nice. I wish I would have brought it, but I've got loads of eyebrow products. So we started off with the eyebrows. All I've done so far is put under eye cream on and my moisturiser, and that's all we've done. So I've got their new concealer, which they've remade that Ultra HD, and it's self-setting. So this is what we're going to use first, and I'm going to literally do what we done step by step. So this is self-setting, but we're still going to use a powder with it, which I do anyway, just to set it a little bit more. So I'm just popping a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I am going to carve out my eyebrows. Contoured look, I thought it wouldn't be for me, but it turns out it's for everyone. So I've carved out my eyebrows, and then you're just going to take the rest of the concealer all the way down over the lid, and this is going to act as the base. So at the lesson, I don't know if I've already said this, they'll do one side and then they'll give you the products to do the other. I don't know if this is standard, but you can ask this to happen, which I wanted because I've been struggling with some of the techniques that are sort of out and about now. So that is just my base, and then I'm just patting in the concealer to my eyelid. Then we went in with the pressed Ultra HD micro fine powder. So just tiny little bit into the brush and just dab it over the top, and this just double sets the concealer. As I said, it is self-setting, so I think when I'm just using it in the daytime with nothing else, I probably won't do this step, but I think she was thinking with bridal in mind as well. So using bronze and contour as your eye colours as well. So I brought two colours, and I'll I don't know what they're called. I'll have to get them back out there. So you buy them individually, then you can buy the palette to put them in. I think the palette was £1. So this is two contour shades that I've used on my face and in my on my eyes. But we mainly used their Pro Fusion, you can see my camera, bronzer, which is beautiful. So it is shimmery, but not overly shimmery. Got slippy hands, and it's like a cushion, so it's really, really nice. So we're going to start off with that with a really fluffy brush. I'm just going to, she said to make sure that you swirl around, picking it up, and then we're just going to place that in the crease. So I'm just warming up the crease all the way around, and it's such a lovely bronze colour. As you can see, it's not really shimmery. I've used bronzer as my eyeshadow as well, but I've not used my contours as well, so I quite like that tip. So just building that up in the crease and then up to the areas that you want. Then we went in with this colour, and we sort of went over the top of that. So she said dip your brush in, always give it a tap, and then we're going back over that colour into the crease. And I'm just sweeping the excess into that inner corner just to really shape the eye. And then we're going to go in with the darker colour, and we're just putting that in the outer corner and then round into that crease. So when you've done that, that's basically the eyes done. So she asked what sort of colour that I wanted on the inside, and we used a rose gold yesterday, which I didn't buy. But it wasn't quite bright enough for what I wanted. So I'm just going to sort of adapt this. So all I'm going to do now is the rest of the concealer that I've got in my hands, I'm just going to place on top of that. So we're just making sure that that inner corner is really, really bright. So she didn't tell me this bit, but this is what I want to do. So this is what we're doing. And what I'm going to use on the inner corner is a cream eyeshadow that I got from Bobbi Brown. So it's really, really bright. But if you are just using this sort of for a day, just put whatever colour in the middle you want to. You don't have to do this step. If you really want to have a really bright inner corner, then this is a good step to do. Blending that bit. And then just making sure that that comes down into the corner. It's all nice and bright. So you can just press any eyeshadow on top now. You could pretty much leave it like this and just blend the edges back out again, like I'm going to do after I pop this on. Okay, so I've got that down as my base. So now I'm just going to go over with the highlight I'm going to use, which is Shock Horror, the Balm one, which sort of matches it perfectly but fills in those gaps that that sparkle stick leaves. Then I'm going to go back in with the brush that we've done all the blending in and just blend out those edges so it all blends in, and then blend that in the middle. And I think I'm actually going to add a transition colour there, really like peachy colour. So I'm just going to place that in the middle to sort of transition those colours together. And then I'm going to go back in with the Makeup Forever dark brown shade we've got. And I love this because it's really warm. And I'm really just going to concentrate on that outer section. Sort of in a C shape, so I'm going into the crease and then round like so. We didn't actually use eyeliner. I did ask her about it and she said that she wouldn't really have it on a wedding day, so I suggested powders instead of but we didn't do that yesterday. But I am just going to use the dark powder and a really narrow brush just to press into my eyelashes because I like something there and I want my lash line to seem quite thick. I'm only going to go sort of 3/4 of the way. She said if you were going to do a line, especially on Bridal, she wouldn't do a flick just to line the eye shape, and I have seen that before in other sort of makeup tutorials I've looked at. I am going to put a bit of black on my lash line because I just need to. So what I'm going to do is take my Urban Decay pencil and put it onto my brush and then work this on top of that brown line we've just done. So next you use the Ultra HD Skin Boosting Serum, which is like a serum that plumps up the skin, it smooths out lines, it's their primer, it's got a bit of a tack to it to help your foundation stick. I didn't buy that because I wanted to do a little bit more research. So I've just used my Smashbox Primerizer. It's a really moisturising one. I like this one. And then they used a smoothing primer. So it's quite good to use too if you've got different, you know, skin. Mine is sort of, can get a bit oily and I've got pores that stick out here. But my skin is quite dry. So I'm just going to use a Photo Loving Primer by NYX. So really push that into the skin. Then this next tip I loved, and I don't know why I've not done it before. So I often use my Smashbox Luminizer in with my foundation and just put it in all, but they put it straight onto the skin. But I've just bought a new one today. I didn't buy theirs, but it's very similar. It's the Loreal Glamour Drops to where I'd want it, and I've got another one like they used on me, sorry. It's got orange tone, so she said to actually put it a little bit under your eyes as well, because it helps get rid of that blueness. So if you have got sort of blueness under your eyes, you can see that mine's gone straight away. So we're just putting this on the high points of the skin before we put our foundation on. So if you just see now I'm going to go underneath my eyes a bit, and it just blurs out and brightens that discoloration. Let's hope that these ones disguise like the other one did. Then we're going to go down the nose, of course. Make sure you get this in, obviously, a tone that suits you. So I always go for golden peachy tones because I've got medium dark skin. So I found out apparently I'm the same foundation shade as Kim Kardashian. Amazing. I was like, oh, okay. And then put a little bit on the lips. So look a bit weird at the moment, but that is what we did. So I love this foundation. This foundation is amazing. It's just, my skin just looked incredible. So it's long wearing. A lot of people use this for bridal especially, but I love that this matches my skin perfectly. Obviously in the summer it's going to be way too light for me, but it matched perfectly. She didn't really give any tips for putting it on. I think foundation, how you put it on is just preference really, isn't it? But my skin looked so good. I hope it's just not one of those flukes. So she didn't put too much under the eyes because we're obviously going to conceal those, and then we're just going to go over with a sponge just to really pat that into the skin. Okay, so now we're going to go back in with the concealer. I'm just going to go back in right underneath, and this will just clear up any lines under the eyes. So I put mascara on my top lashes, but not my lower ones because we've not finished off under the eyes. And then I'm just going to set that again with the HD powder again. I'm going to set my laugh lines, and then just a little bit all over. So then she used their fixing spray to set this part of the makeup. We're going to go back in with the contour now, and she said to use an angled brush, so I'm going to use my blush brush. This is my MAC one. So we're going to use the cooler tone, like this, the lighter one, and she said to look right into the mirror, and you're just going to go here under the cheekbone just to chisel it a little bit. So we're not doing anything too dramatic unless you like that look. So just light, because you don't want to see a big line. It's just really subtle. Then we're going to get the bronzer, which is the star of today's look, and we're going to get a fluffy brush, and we're going to sort of go on top of that and then round the contours of the face. So giving it a good swirl and sort of on top, and you can sort of take this swish to the apples and then up again, and suddenly there's life back into my skin. Then we're going to build up the hairline. If you are looking at this for bridal, all daytime, if you've got your hair up, make sure that you get it right into your hairline. I'm going to go around here a little bit as well, just because I go lighter naturally here, so I just want everything to be all streamlined. And you can start to see the shimmer from the shimmer underneath. She then said to use something really fluffy and light just to go down the sides of the nose, but not like a really thin brush. So you're just warming it up, but you're not doing a really harsh contour line. And then you can take it into this section as well, because the last thing you want is to look too orange in that area. Too warm, maybe we should say. I'm just going to do my jawline as well, because I felt like I needed a bit more colour down here. So for blush, so I'm going to go with these two. So I always use this as a blush topper. It's a really like shiny iridescent kind of blush topper, and just onto the apples of my cheeks mainly, and then just work it up. I love this blush. I just feel like it's such a healthy flush of colour. And then I'm just going to go on top with that one, and then I'm just going to take a plain brush. This has got nothing on it, and almost just join all those colours together. Again, I'm thinking this is Bridal, so I am doing it a little bit more heavier on my cheek. Then we went on to highlighter. So it's got the Marilyn highlighter in it. We're just going to take the side of the brush we've just used, and then I'm just going to run it along my cheekbone and bring it down. Just really gently. We don't want a massive, you know, UFO glow. So backs to the eyes, we're just going to go in with a flat brush again with the Luminizer, and I'm just going to touch up that in case it's lost any intensity. So we're going to finish off underneath the eyes with the bronzer, so just swirling that around. Then we're just going to go in with that dark brown again, and we're just putting it right on the tip and then in that outer corner. And then you can sort of faff. So this is when I faff with things. So once I've got most of it done, I then always tend to go back in and darken up that corner. It's just what it needs. I want a nice big contrast between the inner and outer corner. And then we're just going to put a little bit more of that highlight. Okay, so I've just added some lower lash mascara and some corner false eyelashes. I probably would have fuller eyelashes than this, but it just adds something to this look, just so you can get the idea of it. And we're going to move on to lips. So I'm just going to line around the outside of the lips, and then I'm going to pop on a matte lipstick, and I'm using the Loreal Colour Riche Matte 640 in Erotique. So I've just filled them in with the MAC Spice lip pencil, and now I'm just pressing this on top. Because I want it to be quite like a stained lip. So I've added lower lash mascara, I've added some more false eyelashes, so I've got the Ardel corner accents on, and then I've got these little trios and laid them over the top, mainly on the outer corner. But I think it's a great makeup lesson. Go and have the service done, especially if you know that you want stuff. So if you want a new foundation, if you want a new concealer, go and have a look into it. I hope you've learned a couple of tips, or at least kind of had your mind eased if you've been thinking about a makeup lesson. I know MAC do the same. I think I'm going to have one with them as well. And Bare Minerals have a free one as well. I'm going to that one because I'm interested in some of their lipsticks as well. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.